Hey everyone, welcome back to another Switchcraft review. The game that we're talking about today is ChromaGun on the Nintendo Switch. This game is a first-person puzzle game, very reminiscent of the Portal games by Valve. In fact, I would say that this game is a direct tribute to Portal. I don't want you to mistake me and think that the game is a clone, because it's definitely not a clone. ChromaGun has its own identity. The game has a gun which has the ability to fire 3 colors of paint. Throughout the levels, there are worker droids, which for the most part ignore you unless you fire paint at them. The worker droids can be painted to change their color and will always be attracted to the same color that they are. If there's no matching color nearby, then the worker droids will unfortunately be unattracted to you. I say unfortunately because they're covered in spikes, and if they come into contact with you, you take damage and eventually die. The gameplay centers around manipulating the worker droids in order to stand on buttons, which will then open doors, by changing the color of either the worker droids or the walls themselves. The gun fires 3 primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. If you mix these colors, it gives you 3 more colors, purple, green, and orange. If you mix too much, you get gray or black or brown. I really couldn't tell very well what color it was, but it doesn't matter because the droids are never attracted to those colors. It sounds easy, but some walls and droids can't be painted, and most puzzles will have multiple steps to them, and if you do things in the wrong order, you'll have to start over. As you move through the levels, the game continually throws new challenges at you, with very little explanation. For me, I personally like this as it leaves me to my own devices to figure things out. Sometimes you'll have to move quickly as well, which I found to be extremely difficult with the controls. I'm a pretty laid-back guy, and I wanted to rage at some of the levels in this game, mostly because the precision and speed required just didn't feel like it was matching with what the controls would allow you to do. Generally, the controls feel loose and sloppy. The game would be better served with either an aim assist like most first-person games on console, or with enabling gyroscope controls on the Nintendo Switch. I reached out to the developers and asked if this is something that we can expect in a future patch, and they said they had no plans to bring gyro aiming to ChromaGun. It's clear that this game was designed with a mouse and keyboard in mind. I also would have liked it if your reticle would change color based on the current color that you have ready to fire. So you could keep your eyes in the middle of the screen the whole time rather than looking at the bottom left or the bottom right. The writing in ChromaGun is pretty good. There's lots of humor, it's cheesy but fun. The narrator has a fantastic voice, and he reminds me a lot of GLaDOS and almost makes me feel like I'm on a game show. However, he can get repetitive if you make a lot of mistakes, although there'll be long stretches where you'll never hear him. The graphics in the game are simple. I feel like the lighting is a little too bright, which makes everything look flat, and at one point I thought that they did this in order to hide poor textures, but then they take away the overhead lights and give you a flashlight at one point in the game, and the way that the flashlight reflects off the surfaces makes the game look so much better. On the other hand, at this point, the game felt a little too dark to have played the whole game like this. I would have liked if they had found a balance between full lights and no lights. I think that they would have been better off. It's not bad textures, it's just the lighting's really bright, and I get what they were going for. They were going for a sterile environment, and it totally works. Overall, I feel like ChromaGun is a game that is best on PC with a mouse and keyboard. It is a fantastic game, but on the Switch, they have sloppy controls, and those controls kind of get in the way. I've played it on PC as well as Switch, and if you have the option to play it on PC, that's where you should spend your money. In fact, on the PC, I would say that ChromaGun is a must-buy game. If Switch is your only option, then I still think that this is a game that you should definitely check out. The points where you have to be quick and precise are few and far between, and any time that speed isn't needed, the game is just so fantastic. So if you're looking for a fun puzzle game to play on the Switch, and if you really enjoyed Portal and other games like that, then you're going to have a lot of fun with ChromaGun.